Hi everyone, so today we are looking at the trick to get the perfect color grade in DaVinci Resolve using PFA Color Suite. Be it you try the free trial of this tool or not, you will learn the full systematic workflow on how to achieve a perfect color grade from correction, primary stage of color grading, secondary and tertiary, and you'll go through the entire learning process to load the best system on earth right now. So let's take a look at PFA. Now we always begin with color grade with the correction stage. Basically the purpose and the goal is to return the footage to what we see on set, so we just grade with AI with this feature, but you see we still have the ultimate customizability. You can manually adjust every single parameters as you wish, and you can increase the logify. Basically this stage is turning the entire footage to what we see on set. So first, for primary color grading, we have the film tonal curve, film spectral contrast, and film split tone. But of course, before that, let me show you the CinePalette AI way. Now we include AI training, so you can train your own manual grade into AI training and save them as samples. For example, now I have 3 samples here. Then you just click generate look. It will cycle through all the past work and past grade you have done and find and generate variations based on that. And you can fine tune and grade every single parameters. Basically, it's calling 135 parameters built inside this entire 13 sets of tools to create a grade. And this is unprecedented in the world of color grading yet. And this version of 13.3 is launching in 1 week's time. So this is something that's revolutionary to bring to the picture, and look at how the before and after the grade is. And I can go down to the individual group to create any color grade I want. For example, I want more teal in the frame, I can reduce the red. Then we'll remix the red output into cyan. I can have the absolute control on every single thing, and that's the power and beauty of this toolkit. But now let's demonstrate the manual way of doing everything. Primary color grading stage, which is comprised of film tonal curve. At this point, you want to convert your digital video into the film format, where you want to increase the black point and increase the shadow softness. This creates the milky gray in the shadow. Look at what we are done here. We add the milky gray in the shadows. And next we go to film spectral contrast. This is where it's revolutionizing how we usually do the step of saturation. It's doing kind of level of color contrast. So what it does when I increase the red contrast, look at how just a subtle change, just a very subtle change, we are able to get a very nice result on the image. We can also increase the blue contrast as well, the green contrast a little. Okay, so next week. So this is enough. If you say complete is great, look at just the primary changes. We just add a curve, we just add a spectral contrast. That's how powerful and crazily good this engine is. Next, we can go film split tone. This is where you turn on the curve. You can introduce different tones to the shadow, mid-tone and highlight. So you can increase the shadow split and can increase the for example, I want cyan in the shadow. I can do that very easily by rotating the shadow split hue, and now I get cyan in the shadows. And I can add different tones in the mid-tone as well, and the green. So this is need a little bit of knowledge on curves. Primary is done, so now we already have a very nice grade right away. Next stage is how we're going to create secondary color grading, which is we are swapping the color and change the overall texture of the image. So color swap comes in, is able to swap your different hues to different tones, and we are able to use the show mask feature to look at where exactly the pixels are. If you're not happy about the selection, increase the blue range so more blue pixel gets picked up by DaVinci Resolve, and we can shape them more towards cyan. And look at how easy we can do this with this tool. Density, on the other hand, is the most advanced saturation technology. It's called subtractive saturation. And basically what it does, as you saturate the image, it will actually reduce the luminance of the shot. That helps to create that very nice denseness in the color. So look at what we do when we increase the global density a little. It's getting the more saturation in the image, but at the same time, it's lowering the luminance of the outcome. Look at how great the outcome. Cyan density, I can increase the blue density. Look at how immediately we can see the color depth. Here we have the focus. We want cyan to pop more, and we have a focus. For example, I want red to recede. I can lower the red density and that, or increase the red density to make things pop more. And look at, no matter how much you do to the image, it gets darker at the same time as you saturate comparing to other tools. For example, let's do the same thing to color swap. When we increase the saturation to max, it seems cheap because it's brightening the pixels. Subtractive engine simulates exactly how film works. As more saturation comes in the picture, it blocks more light. So we can do exactly the same thing. And that's how we do the color grading right here. And color extraction is a new tool that is able to, for example, I want less red to be in the frame. It helps to extract out some of the colors from the skin, etc. It's very good extracting colors. And next is color scheme. You use skin tone map Now our skin is orange. Orange means perfectly aligned with the skin tone map on the vectorscope. So we just need to decide, I want skin to be fairer, I want the skin to be brighter. So actually this is a very sweet spot, right? Then Film Mixer is doing the palette building. So if I turn on the scopes, you will see things very clearly what it does. The moment I use the teal and orange, it will massage my entire palette and vectorscope into distinct film palettes. So now it's teal and orange palette. Or I can go to teal and pink palette. It cuts away the distractions. So tertiary color grading is really about removing colors at this stage. Thoughtfully removing what is unnecessary from your image. So this is the step where you're going to use teal and orange, you're going to use teal and pink. You are cutting away all the distractions to form a very distinct palette, only keeping 2 for the complete set, magenta and green, or yellow and blue. And look at how well it protects our skin. Let's use magenta and green as an example. If I lower the skin protection, this is what Film Mixer is doing on the world for all the tools out there. But with skin protection on, you get 0 effect on your image. That's how good the engine and math is. So I will pretty much with half of teal and orange, that's good enough. Then the respective RGB below is actually helping to remix the red. For example, I want more red to be cyan, I just reduce red. More red pixels are now massaged into cyan. So I get a fine control on the focus. If I want cyan to pop, I just reduce red, because since we already form a red and teal kind of palette. Next, film separation is also tertiary color grading, where we now have the palette, but it's very near the box. That means it's very near color saturation clipping in the Red 709 color space. So what we're going to do is want to reduce the red and cyan palette, so we restrict it, and then we get a more safe, broadcast safe kind of standard. And look at how dense the red looks, and the density treatment we have done is preserved so well, and we get a very nice outcome. And film printer lights is the last stage for the tertiary color grading. Basically, the goal is to sometimes want to create a look of the day. For example, I can add a vintage vibe by adding green and yellow to simulate the afternoon kind of look. And that itself, just 2 simple sliders, we are able to look at the shadow protection mask. We're injecting colors only to these areas. So tertiary color grading is really about injecting colors to where exactly we want to tell the story. So tertiary, to be honest, is really the palette building. Secondary is about color swapping. You are slowly building the palette. Primary is just getting the colors and the information right. 3 tiers of color grading will give you a phenomenal result, and look at how good the outcome is. To finish off, you have the last stage, which is texture. We have a very nice grain system. Just show you the grain for you will do. Increase the grain. You have different shadow, mid-tone, and highlight responses. These are the best engines out there to create the organic grains that seems like it lives inside your frame. Because traditional grains, they are chemical process during development. It appears it reacts very differently to different exposures. So shadow, mid-tone, and highlight have different kind of reactions to grains. So now we can decide, I want the mid-tone, which the skin tone to have less grain, the shadow and the highlight to have more grain. I have a 3D grains that live inside the frame. It doesn't look like a texture. It looks like it lives inside the frame. So once I'm done, I can play back flawlessly at almost full frame playback, even though I'm still recording. But if I turn off film texture, of course I can play back much faster at live speed. But with film texture, it's a little bit slower. Alright, so that's how powerful it is. Once I've done the grade, that's where the power comes. I can go to CinePalette AI, go to AI training. Now I go to the next shot. Similarly, I'm going to use AI to do all the grade with AI, grade with AI, grade with AI. We've done the correction phase, is completed in just 3 clicks, and I can refine it. I want it to be more contrasty, I want it to be slightly brighter, and this is overall what I love. Then I go to CinePalette AI, go generate look, and 1 click. This is what I love. I'm loving this. Look at the milky gray in the shadow, the treatment is exactly grading like me. So AI training is you are building your own AI assistant. When you want to export to another machine, just click export training data and import again. So we have done a perfect grade here. So I can move on to the next shot. Similarly, this is a challenging shot because it's very flat. So let's look at how it goes. There's not much color information here, so we can try out. So same thing, delogify, we're still enhancing the algorithm. Sometimes it's not as perfectly accurate, but just a few tuning. And the best part about CinePalette AI and all these great with AI tools is just calling the slider. So 135 tools they are calling out and controlling. So at the same time, you can create any grade you want. And after this is done, generate look. Oh, actually, I pretty much love this one. It is so It's so gorgeous. Okay, this is good enough. So I just stay with this, and of course I can use the Logify, make it more contrasty. Then I can go down to Film Mixer. I want more cyan in the shots. I can just go to Film Mixer, go to tertiary color grading straight, and we can remix the red into cyan. Maybe this is too much. Let me reduce it. Okay, this looks perfect to me, and no complaints about this. And we can go to Film Tonal Curve. You can regrade the tonal curve so it gets the milky gray in the shadow, which one click is done. So that's how amazing it is to get the perfect color grade for any shots, to get the density, organic density, as well as color and cinematic kind of treatments. And look at how well everything plays back right now. So that's all for this episode. 13.3 will be launching 1 week's time. If you go to download the free trial, it should be 11.3. But before you want to commit to any license trial, all the features for free. Before you want to buy a license, use thank you 2026 for enjoy 45% off. Once you miss this price will never come back to this low again. Okay, so that's all for this episode. My name is Nash, Passion Fuels Ambition. I shall see you in the next one.